We're all I can say at the moment is we're definitely in talks regarding it, but it's in its very because we've gone through a lot of different options. We've talked to a lot of people, and we're at a point now we're the best opportunity for it seems to have arisen, but it's still in its earliest stages. So I mean, we can't really, details are still being fleshed out, and there's still no full guarantee. I can't say it's happening already. Like that would be kind of jumping the gun, but
no problem.
We're closer to getting. We're closer to having a video than we have been in the past. I guess I'll put it that way.
All right, yeah. Understandable. Being an independent band, everything takes baby steps.
Exactly.
I mean, Stench took how long, right?
4 years, 6 months.
Wow. Hopefully, hopefully the next one's quicker.
3 days. By the way.
Say that again, Eddie.
I recorded all of my drums in 3 days.
Yeah, wow. Eddie recorded his drums in 3 days between late December of 2008.
And
all right.
Yeah, and we took all the rest of that time to finish it off.
Okay. Well, you guys are, from what I understand, doing things mostly yourselves, so it's got to be difficult. So anyway, speaking more about some changes from early to more recent stuff, Goblin Island was pretty much exclusively lyrically about goblins, but Stench seems to branch off just a little bit. Can you shed some light on the reasons behind branching out?
I can take that one. Or
yeah, go
sure.
for it.
I mean, we've always been, it's kind of like when people are like, "Oh, you guys are like the best joke band I've ever heard," and it's kind of like we're a joke band that's really serious. Like we take our joking very seriously, and so I think it's like the goblin thing is funny, but it's not the be all end all of the joke. I feel like there's, we are funny. We like funny things, and I think are kind of goofy people, funny people. And so all of that tends to come out in the music. And so, Nikki and I, when we were coming up with lyrics, Nikki and I wrote all the lyrics on Stench. It's probably going to be more collaborative on the next one. But when we were sort of coming up with ideas, it was kind of like Stench or Goblin Island had one song that was that didn't have Goblin in the name, which was They Came From Space. And we were like, well, wait a minute, why don't we just have Stench have only one song with Goblin in the name and just de-emphasize the whole Goblin thing and see what other funny shit we could come up with. And that's where like the Bog came from, and that's where Prince of the Land of Stench isn't about goblins either. Really, I mean, you could read it as such, and it still fits, but it's like that's not really the point of it, and stuff like that. So we're kind of like stretching out and trying to figure out, the idea is we're like it's serious, it's jokes, but it's all serious. So let's treat this fucking thing as like, how can we be funny in an interesting way?
I never knew that. Oh, sorry. Continue.
I was just saying maybe that's pretentious. Yeah.
No, I get it. I always thought of Nekrogoblikon, or the whole year that I've known Nekrogoblikon, but I always thought that you guys were a serious band that liked to make jokes. I didn't really.
Exactly.
I didn't find you guys were like, this is a joke band. I'm like, no, this band is awesome, and they are also hilarious.
I think Stench really proved that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was gonna say like Immortal.
I don't think Immortal thinks they're joking. That's the main difference.
I was gonna say because when a lot of people when they just hear, I think Goblin Island, if that in and of itself and if the project had just ended there, a lot of people might have interpreted it as a joke band. But I think part of the reason that the decision was made to have songs that are not just about goblins on Stench was to, and we had the more less cartoony artwork that still kind of looked cool, but wanted to keep the silliness there, but kind of just elevated. And I guess that's kind of the stupidity aspect there. Like it should always be there, and that we have fun. Like we would get bored just writing serious songs, but we're trying to get more intricate with it and clever with it, Unsuccessfully or successfully, I don't know, but that's what we're doing.
I think
But-
it's successful. I'm totally getting it.
I'm digging it.
And I love the album art on Stench. I wear my my Nekrogoblikon Bears shirt all the time. And I would, even from people who don't like metal, I always get comments on it. It's like, is that a goblin riding a bear?
Yep, it is.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
to backtrack just a sec. So I never knew that Prince of the Land of Stench wasn't actually about goblins. I guess I made that distinction in my head that it was because of its link, I guess, from its title to the movie Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, right?
Which
So that's sort of what I mean. Is like we'll do like really goofy shit like that. Like I don't know. It was kind of things like we kind of make little meta jokes about ourselves where like oh, let's do a song that's like sort of about the Goblin King but out of Labyrinth, which is totally like out of left field really if you think about it, considering like we've got our own little goblin thing, but we're like, no, fuck it, Labyrinth is also a part of this somehow, like so
Mainly David Bowie.
I'd always known about the movie Labyrinth, but I was just a little bit too young to have seen it. So I went out and I bought it and watched it over the summer.
Oh man, I actually, my girlfriend's a huge Labyrinth fan. I was like, "Hey, you're gonna like the song." I showed her, and she goes, "What is this?" And she goes, "What the? Is that fucking Labyrinth?" I'm like, yeah.
Fun fact. I don't know if anyone actually knows this, but I lost my virginity to Labyrinth.
That is an interesting piece of information.
Know that.
I did not know that either. That's awesome.
That is an interesting piece of trivia. We'll make sure to make that the highlight of this interview.
I can't unknow that now.
Just edit it to make that the most important bit.
That is pretty important.
Oh man. So recently,
but actually, just to finish off the thing about having goblins on the album, like the on the flip side of this, I can say that the goblin thing is going to take a whole nother turn on the next album. Like it'll be like a whole different side of it. I think that people are really going to dig.
Yeah, instead of goblins, we're just going to talk about politics and sports.
Oh, fantastic! Those are two of my favorite things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And incorporate goblins into those.
Can we talk about math in it too? Can you sing about math for me? That's another one of my favorite things.
It's going to be the politics of sports.
Yeah, or the sports politics.
So anyway, so you guys recently started releasing the pre-production tracks from Stench. Can you tell us a little bit about how some of those songs changed from into their final versions? Some of them are so different.
Yeah, mainly just because we are like, we'll write something and won't be happy with it because we're assholes. And so we will just keep changing it and keep screaming at each other about things until we're all happy or happier.
Or until we're tired of arguing.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically things just change until we're tired of changing them.
All right. I mean, so far both versions of each song have been really cool.
Yeah, I like them.
Especially Claws. I think I might even like Claws better than its final version. Not that the final version isn't awesome, but I've been jamming out Claws.
Well, thank you, because I mean, all the pre-production stuff was never finished. You can hear a lot of sloppy guitar parts. You can hear, some parts don't have keyboards. Obviously there's a few songs without vocals. Things like that. Like, Eddie's not on any of that stuff. It's all sequenced drums.
I mean, that's part of the reason.
All right, I guess that's
why that stuff is there.
Yeah, and I mean the drumming on Goblin Island was sequenced too, if I understand correctly.
Yeah,
so,
that was all my attempts to pretend I was a drummer at the time.
But a lot of earlier work from independent acts have done that. It's not that uncommon. It sounds pretty realistic, a lot of it now. I mean, you could definitely tell it's not human, but a lot of it sounds pretty real.
Well, that's because on modern metal albums it's not real, even when it's a real drummer.
Yeah, the
it's all
triggering
edited,
sound replacements
put together. Yeah.
But we would never do that.
No, of course not. Ever.